Okay, so we are live. I know it takes few seconds before things get pushed in LinkedIn as well as in YouTube. So I'm giving the LinkedIn as well as YouTube time so that they can start streaming this particular content at both the channels. I'm your host Saket Bansal, back again with our episode 11 of PMP Power Hour. I now gave a new name, PMP Exam Power Hour. That's a name for our series. And yes, we did many event or many episodes before. Then in between, we talked a little bit pause. But I'm continuing that series now, and we are in the episode 19. You can definitely see the previous versions. We have a podcast format published on our YouTube site where you can check our previous conversation as well, and you can listen to them. Yeah, because it's not necessary to be watched, so you can play them as a part of your overall listening schedule while on the move, and that will help you in getting this particular content and PMP exam easier for your preparation will become easy because you are listening the project management content quite frequently. I do see the LinkedIn is still pushing the content. It is not yet live, so probably it is taking some time before things get started to the broadcasting to the LinkedIn event. So I'll just give a few more pause. I see now it's working, and I can mute the content so that it is not disturbing me while we are doing the conversation. Okay, so as usual, I start talking about a topic, share some ideas around that, and then our major focus is we bring your questions related to PMP exam, related to project management preparation, and we discuss them one by one in order to create a better understanding. So that's the format, that's how we will go. Starting with the topic, in the focus is mentoring. Now, recently I checked various exam results. We had clients who scored above target in all three areas, but I was looking at task-wise reports. Yeah? So there is a task-wise report which is also provided to you. As you know, the PMP exam is 100% aligned to exam content outline. There are 35 tasks in the exam content outline. And once you do your PMP exam, you do get task level report also where they tell how you perform for that particular task. And I observed recently the mentoring task, which is a task in the people domain in your task 13, which talks about mentoring relevant stakeholder, was not showing that much good scoring in some of my sample data. So I thought I remind again, we had a detailed video in our previous series also in our episodes, but I'm reminding that as a project manager, I am always believing in growing my team members. I need to demonstrate leadership, and one of the act of leadership is developing people. So I need to train them, mentor them all the time. Now, somebody will say, okay, what is the difference between training and mentoring? Training is more a structured approach where you go with a predefined agenda, you acquire knowledge. Mentoring is a long-term approach where you work with someone who is experienced, who's an expert in that area. The person provide you context-sensitive advice, handhold you, may do job shadowing with you. Job shadowing means you might be doing the work and that mentor might be observing you, or the mentor is doing the work, you are observing that person. You discuss your specific issues with this particular mentor. You can have a formal mentoring relationship, you can have an informal mentoring relationship also. So what does it mean? Formal means as a project manager, you may create a mentoring plan where you have an identified mentor, you have a recommended interactions which must happen. And after a duration, you also do a review of how mentoring is working, and there is a proper assessment of it about ROI, the returns you got by investing in the mentoring hour. That's a formal process. Informal process is that you have a stakeholders, you have a team members who are experienced. Whenever you have a specific problem, you have pointed out that you can discuss your problem with these individuals. They will help you in growing and learning that particular skill. So informal, on demand basis, on need basis, you connect with those stakeholders and get mentored. I, as a project manager, needs to create this environment so people are collaborative and they are supporting each other. So I need to create proper mentoring opportunity either by having a formal process or by creating trust and interaction, networking amongst the team member, so that informal mentoring also starts happening. Now, sometimes you may have a question talking about you don't have a money to develop people. What should you do? So for PMP exam, we definitely want to focus on cost-effective solution for everything. Yeah, it is not blindly, I will train people, I will mentor people. Ultimately, it should be always indicating that I am training, I am mentoring, because it helps me. It helps me in reducing dependency on one people. I create a more cross-skilling. It helps me in utilizing the product, increasing the productivity and efficiency at a later stage, and I make my team ready for skills which are soon needed in my project. So I need to definitely apply cost-effective method. There should be a goal for mentoring and training. But at the same time, I do take mentoring and training as a right investment. So whenever question indicates that you don't have a money, you can say, I will invest, but I will find a cost-effective mechanism. I will find a mechanism which ensures that I have a more returns than the money I am spending in that particular mentoring activity. So as a project manager, I do care about the money spent from my organization pockets, and I need to balancing the returns as well as investment we are doing for training and mentoring purpose. So that is something I need to keep in mind. Can I mentor my team members as a project manager for a PMP exam perspective? The answer is yes. On what areas I can mentor on my team member? All the areas which are part of your PMP exam content outline, 35 tasks. So like processes, agile, non-agile, working with people, managing relationship, providing feedback, emotional intelligence. The PMI expects you should be expert in those 35 tasks which are as a competency for you as a project manager. And for those 35 tasks, you should be willing to train, mentor your teammates so that they can also grow in that particular area. So if the question indicates the team is lacking the process skills, they don't know how to do a risk management, you can definitely a mentor and coach for doing risk management related topic. If the question indicates the team members are new to agile, you can be a mentor for or trainer to teach agile so that they know how are we working in this particular process. Some of you may start thinking, no, I'm a project manager. How do I teach agile? How do I teach risk management? So what we expect is someone who is experienced in the project management areas, the 35 tasks, should be willing to create more knowledge in the team by way of training and mentoring. So you volunteer yourself also for mentoring and training opportunities. But at the same time, if you see there is a other cost-effective mean than you getting involved, you go for that. So you need to keep that in mind that I invest, I do want to do it, I am willing to do it. But if we have a better and easier manage, I will do it. Sometimes you say cost effective. What do you mean by that? Should I go for cheap option all the time? So for a PMP exam, you need to find the cheapest option, but without compromising on quality. So please don't equate cheap is bad quality. You can say, I will not negotiate on my quality requirement. Now, for a given quality requirement, for given expectation, I will find what is the best cost-effective option. That's a universal thought we need to keep in mind, and that thought we also apply when we are doing mentoring-related work for our team members. So these are few ideas which you can apply for navigating your mentoring training-related questions. Should I involve stakeholder in mentoring training activity? The answer is yes. Yeah, it's a very good idea because it will engage the stakeholders. It will create a better networking between stakeholders and the team members, and they will create a better trust and bonding, which will be important for project success. And that also help the team member in learning from the stakeholder, or a reverse also. Your team members may be mentoring the stakeholder also on the application aspects. So it will be both bi-directional relationship, which I should be promoting. My goal is I create an environment where my stakeholders can mentor my team member can mentor the stakeholder. This activity might be very, very crucial when we are going for implementing, when we are finishing our project and making our deliverables available to our stakeholders and users. So when I'm facilitating change, I can do stakeholder mentoring, or I can make stakeholder mentor my team members, and that will bring engagement and the growth for my project as well. Another reminder, just try to be training opportunities, try to be just in time, not too ahead in time, not too late, which means you see something is needed at a particular point in time. I will train, mentor my individuals, my team, so that they are ready to exploit their newly learned skills soon, else they may forget all those things. So whenever I have a question, I try to find it just in time. It should not be that we have a need of a skill and we don't have a person. And it should also not happen that you have learned something and we don't know when this thing will get really used, because you need to do overall cost effectiveness of investment in the knowledge development as well. So do apply the just-in-time idea for focusing on training and mentoring as well. So overall, these are the idea which we can say that this is something we need to keep in mind while we are dealing with our project management related questions, PMP related questions. Many of you believe, organizing training and mentoring relationship is not a project manager job. This is something my human resource department does. Please don't think like this. You are a leader. You are expected to develop your team. Yes, there will be some organization initiative also, but for your project thing, you need to continuously invest in training and mentoring. Some of you will say, I have a skilled people. I don't need mentoring and training. They will just do it. The answer in the PMP exam is the skills are very dynamic. You can't say that I have a skilled people for the whole project. As the project is moving from one stage to another stage, you may need more skills. You may need different skills. And in order to get ready for a future situation, you need to train and mentor people on a regular basis. So it's a regular activity. It's your responsibility. You can also do it. You engage the stakeholders. It could be a formal process. It could be informal process. But overall, you need to develop your team so that they can take care of future challenges. Yeah. Okay. We have a question for a training planning. What needs to consider project schedule or resource calendar? Project schedule or resource calendar. So if I elaborate this question, say I want to plan a training for few of my team member, where would I go and update it? Yeah. Should I update in a project schedule directly, or should I go into resource calendar and update it there? Yeah, that's the question. The answer is both the places. You need to update both the places. Why? Resource calendar and training schedule is very integrated. They are not separate. Yeah. If I'm not available for a week, project schedule has to be adjusted accordingly. Resource leveling. Yeah, because I'm not available, and if I'm allocated somewhere, it has to be leveled out, else it is going to create a mess for me. So we need to keep in mind, we always focus on integrated project management. When I am thinking about planning some training for my team members, I need to definitely plan for the cost. I need to definitely look for my project schedule. I need to definitely update my resource calendar to reserve those particular days into the training activity, which automatically happens. You can say I will create a task in my project schedule for the training. Yeah, and I will allocate these person to there. So when you do that, both the things will get automatically updated. In the resource calendar, it is shown that this resource is not available for execution of the task because he is allocated to a training activities. So I, as a project manager, has to keep all aspects of my projects in an integrated manner, be it a scheduling, costing, resourcing, risks, other areas, and that should be in consistency. Yeah? So you manage both. They are pretty much integrated. We may learn them one by one, but ultimately they are coming together, and that is what we call it project integration management. We need to keep our whole project integrated. Yeah. So nice. We spoke about a little bit on mentoring training. We took one question as well. Now we can talk about other queries as well. Now we have another question. So resource availability need to be considered according to project schedule or resource calendar. Yeah, that's the question. So in a simple manner, what I say, what comes first? Do I create a project schedule first, or do I create a resource calendar first? Yeah. And how they relate with each other. So it's like this. If you are hiring someone and this person is available to you for 3 months, as of now, your project schedule is not available, you update resource calendar. Yeah. Now this person has to take 15 days leave in between. You mark that thing in a resource calendar. Yeah. This person, so you can say first level of availability, maybe some persons are 50% available to you, you update the resource calendar. That is first you start with. Now you start preparing your project schedule. Now this person is available to you for 100% for 3 months, and some person is available to you 50% for 3 months. Now based on this availability, you will start putting them into project schedule. You will start allocating. Now, once you start doing it, the resource calendar can also show that information. Okay, this person is allocated to these tasks. That's why he's allocated. So initially, I create a high-level task and just allocate the person so that calendar is booked. After that, I start creating the fine-grained task in my project schedule where I can see that where this person is allocated. So afterwards, both are showing the similar information. Now, if I allocate this particular person or a machine more than availability, so say I have hired a one room, But now I have allocated 2 teams doing activity in the same room. Say I have a 1 meeting room and 2 meetings are happening at the same time. I realize it's the overloading. So the meeting room was available to me for 1 month, but I have allocated it more than once. Then I will see the resource histogram, which is a combination of resource calendar and my project schedule data. And I will see where the allocation is more. And then I need to level that allocation, which is called resource leveling. So in a tool, yeah, they are pretty much interconnected. You can simply say, booking the person for the project is a resource calendar, and then making sure that we are scheduling our activities according to the availability of that particular individual or a machine is my project scheduling, and I need to do a resource leveling to map both of them in appropriate manner. And that is called project integration. Now, if I decide to send the person on the training, then also I need to mark that as a training activity in my project schedule. So that should be integrated. Okay, so that's what we see here. So I see as of now, I don't have any comment from LinkedIn. Sometimes the LinkedIn comments do little weird activity. So I'm not sure if it's a reality or if they will show up at a later stage. But as of now, I can't see them. Yeah, just letting know if someone has put the comment, probably it has not reached me. That's why I'm not talking about them yet. Yeah. So, but yes, as soon as I get it, I will talk. Yeah. I do see something, but it is not showing me the detail. Let's see. So I'm trying to find the content from the LinkedIn, but as of now, it is not with me. Yeah. So training budget need to be included in a project budget or organization budget. Whatever we do is project. Yeah, that's it. That's as a PMP exam. Yeah. Now in practice, you can have both type of training. There could be some organizational level training where the goal is beyond project. And those organization level trainings will be managed and created by organization level groups. But still, they will ask for your people allocation. But for those duration, if the people are going for 1 week of organization level training, I, as a project manager, will make those people not available to project for during that week. Yeah. So then I will mark my resource calendar. These people are not available because they are doing some organizational activity, something like this. But if this training is meant for my project objective and it's a part of my project training, then inside my project schedule, those training will be visible, and the time allocation, the cost allocation related to that will be part of my project cost baseline and later on my project budget also. Yeah. So organization training, I am impacted because people are not available to my project, but I am not the owner of planning them, ensuring effectiveness of them, those training, and I may be a stakeholder there. I am impacted party. Yeah. But for project training, I am the one who drives it. I am the one who get it planned, and I am the one who need to make sure that it is well integrated and budgeted in my project thing. Yeah. Now, many of you who work as a project manager, some project budget comes from training budget comes from the project, and some budget comes from the organization. So you know that this is how these things are different in a real world as well. Yeah. So yes, this is what I am unable to find anything. I do see that there is something on the LinkedIn, but yeah, let's see if it comes later. Yes. So this is till now. We spoke about various training related stuff. We spoke about few questions related to the resource calendar, project schedule, and then we also explored the budgeting related queries related to the training at an org level as well as at a project level. Yeah. So if you have any query related to your PMP preparation, feel free to drop a message. Yeah. And you can type it on the LinkedIn or YouTube, wherever you see us, and that will reach us, and we'll try to answer your query based on our understanding of project management. Yeah. Looks like little pause in between. Yeah, we'll see. So the coming week is little, I think I would say that slow week for many of us in India. Also in US, you have a lot of festival happenings. So in the meantime, since we are getting or collecting the question, I want to show something on our page. Yeah. So I'm sharing the screen and showing my YouTube channel to you. So what we did, we created a kind of little interactive playlists. We call them podcast. And we have been posting various PMP style questions and explaining them with the help of video format. So if you want to get them easily, watch them in a sequence, or just want to listen to them when you are driving office or coming back from office, you can play with this podcast style. It's the same thing, but just like it is collected in such a way so that it gives you easy mechanism to go forward, backward. So all 135 questions which are live till now are available here. So we have a PMP practice question and answer podcast created for you, which you can try it out. We have other podcast of your area of interest. We call it PMP Exam Prep Power Hour. So this particular session, or like these kind of sessions, which we have done in the past, this one is our 19th session. If you want to get a feel of what we have been discussing and what kind of questions were coming, you can also play this particular playlist. So these are the two playlists which are available to you to simplify searching the content on our YouTube channel. So this is something you can try it out, and that can help you in managing and navigating to the content little faster. Now, I hope you all are aware of our ECO tool, which I have been showing various times before as well. If not, I give a quick update about that as well. Okay, we can say yes. Yeah, we have a thing. So please do play with our ECO. You can go to our website, go to tutorial section, and here you can find our PMI 35 task syllabus, and you can search about all the 35 tasks. You can learn about them. That's there. And then you can get into the details of any task. It will give you some details, and it also has a questions which are designed in PMI style, which are linked to this particular task. So this is something you go to Eisenbridge tutorial and look for the PMI ECO task. Yeah. So these are the two sharing which I can say here. Now, can team training affect the quality cost? So that's the question which we are getting. So say we do have two types of cost of quality when you are planning for the quality related activities. So first thing, we need to be very clear for a PMP exam perspective, the quality is fitment to use, how best we can meet stakeholder expectation. That's the definition of quality. It's not something which is absolute. It changes from stakeholder to stakeholders. Yeah. So for a given project context, I need to identify what particular expectation my stakeholder has from this particular product. And if I meet that expectation, I am producing a quality product. So that's the first thing we need to keep in mind when we are discussing quality for a PMP exam perspective. Now, the second thing is, by doing training, can I improve my delivery? Can I improve my fitment for use? Can I improve my probability of meeting the customer expectation? Because that's quality. Yeah. So how well you meet your customer expectation? Can I improve that with the help of training? The answer is yes. Yeah. So in our PMP concepts, when we are doing our quality planning activity, we also apply the training thing where we focus on cost of conformance and cost of non-conformance. So it's like that, how do we make people train, mentor in advance so that they understand what is needed from the product, what are the quality expectation, what are the compliance expectation, so that we don't have a failure at a later stage. So we make our people ready so they do the work in a right manner, which reduces the failure at a later stage, which reduces a rework and improve our predictability. Yeah. So it becomes most cost effective thing because you are improving your predictability. So that way we can also measure, that's a nice way to say, we can also measure the result or impact of our training. We can say, let's train people in this area, which will reduce the error done in this particular area, which will reduce the amount of rework, and that's the benefit which we will get. So we can see it from a quality perspective, we can see it from skill readiness perspective, we can see it from ability to enable change perspective, we can see it from the ability to create knowledge sharing so that project remains continued even if some people are leaving. All these things are linked with training. So that's yes. So conformance cost is a part of our training related activities also. So the cost spent in the training can fall under cost of conformance in case of quality theories. Great, thank you. Yeah, so that's the another query we got here. So do check our YouTube channel for the podcast part of it. Yeah, we have been doing various experiments. We started talking about the project manager interview series as well. As of now, we have been talking about project managers interviews for very long, but now I started doing a little bit systematically. I know I'm not that well organized, but now I'm trying to do that. So we pushed 3 episodes by now. There were 2 which were just explanation of some probable questions which you get in your PMP and giving you some structures of it. And then we had a long conversation where we had a one project manager who wanted to discuss his real project management questions which he got in the interview, and we explored and answered them. They are useful for your PMP exam also if someone is just preparing for PMP, because these things are not isolated. It's not like you need to prepare for exam and do something else when it comes to real world, do different answers when it comes to interviews. You need to have a consistency between what you study, what you do, and what you explain to others when you go for interviews. And that's how I probably ensure that those answers are really matching with the practice and expectation as per the theory. Both are coming together. So that's another podcast which you can look at. You can follow that particular thing as well. Here, let me show that in the meantime. So in the same our YouTube podcast area, you do have this project manager interview mastery series. So here also you can find those questions. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just promoting these things so that you know about them. In the meantime, I'm hoping some question will come, so we resolve and then we move forward. Yeah, we can make another 10-20 minutes use of our live conversation. Okay, looks like we are settling down. Let me see if there is something pending in LinkedIn, else we start proceeding towards closing our conversation. Looks like it's done for today. Yeah. Okay, I see. So what step comes before stating teams training? Yeah, that's an interesting question. You know, what do you do before you get into the training? Yeah. So say the input for training need can come from various places. It can come based on what kind of skills you are expecting or needing in your future project related work. Yeah. So you need to do continuous assessment of your current skills and future skills needed. And if there is a gap, you need to figure it out that some training and mentoring has to be done so that my team members are ready for that particular situation. Input 1. Input 2 could be that there could be a change trigger, yeah, maybe related with the input 1 only. Some compliance rule has changed, some technology has changed, and now that is driving you to behave differently. Now, for that, we need to have an awareness of this new compliance rule, this new technology that may also trigger the training need. The third possibility is you have a new people joining in. Because of whatever reason, some turnover has happened in your team. Some people have left or new people have joined in. You need to get them ready and you need to plan the training for them as well. The third possible trigger. The fourth possible trigger is your frequent interaction with the team members. So you as a project manager is expected to conduct frequent team member performance assessment or a goal setting meeting. And when you are doing that conversation, you may realize, or the team member may realize, I want to get somewhere trained in these areas, or I have a lack of skill in this particular area, or as a conversation, we figure it out, something has to be done. That can also trigger a training. Yeah? So you may have a team member specific need also coming for the training activity. So there could be various sources. There could be the current project issues. So say, as you only pointed out about cost of quality, you see that a lot of issues are getting piled up. And the reason, when you did a root cause analysis of those issues, you discovered the skill gap is coming as a prominent reason. Because of that, these issues are getting accumulated. So you realize that in order to prevent this particular recurrence of issue, I need to get my people trained, because I need to focus on investing something on a cost of conformance, so we can reduce these non-conformance, the errors in future, and get ready for the a better delivery. So various aspects. Yeah, there could be a possibility of someone leaving your team, so you want to get his knowledge transferred to the other. Knowledge transfer will also trigger a training need. Now, knowledge transfer has two aspects. Knowledge transfer within a team in order to ensure the project continuity without much of the hustle, or knowledge transfer after your project deliverables are ready. So you want to transfer this knowledge to the stakeholders. You want to transfer this knowledge to the operational support team. That will also trigger a training need. So it is also a part of supporting the organization to get ready to utilize whatever we have developed, because our goal as a project manager in a new PMI style is to produce the desired outcome. It is just not enough to push something and say this is done. We need to make sure the thing is really used in the end user space. In order to do that, I need to enable my stakeholders by way of training and mentoring to them. So we can say the various aspects, yeah, and I need to be very careful about the question. Various aspects can trigger the people development, team development, stakeholder development need. And as a project manager, I need to support all these aspects so that we can achieve our project objectives carefully. Yeah, so that's the great question. Yeah, Azar. Yeah, that something is important. And for PMP exam, I just need to go with this mindset that I am here to enable my stakeholder and my team. It is my role. That is something I believe in. Now, when I have that core belief that I will get things done by developing people, I will make sure that I am doing all what it takes to support my project, future work, and post-delivery work. And looking at that, training and mentoring is one of my tools, which I will use whenever needed. If I go with that mindset, I will be able to find the right answers. So you will be able to see, and you can take it training as a preventive approach. There could be a corrective approach also when you have a particular problem, but you can say usually it is more focused on prevention. Majority of time, the training is proactively you are preventing, and if you don't do it right now, you know that you are getting into a bigger problem later on. So that's how you behave and operate as a project manager. Okay, so that's the all idea related to your trainings. I'm not sure if the LinkedIn comments are not reaching me today. I don't know. Something is wrong, and it has happened before also, but as of now, I can't see any LinkedIn comment. If some of you are posting on LinkedIn and unable to find it out, please come to our YouTube channel. You can just type Eisenbridge on YouTube. You will find us, and you will see this live session, and then you can paste your query here in case you have pasted some queries on LinkedIn and not getting reply because of, in case, yeah, if you have that situation, then you probably want to post that on a YouTube, because I can't see it on LinkedIn as of now. Okay. Okay, so I think we are approaching towards closer now. If I give a final 30 seconds, if someone has a query, please bring it out, else we proceed and close today's live session. And we'll do live after a gap of a week. Next week, we are not doing it because of this too many holidays, resource availability. Yeah, Srinivas, resource calendar problem. So we have a resource calendar problem, overloading is happening. But after that, we will resume. So just a 1 week pause, but we'll continue. During this week, if you have any specific query, feel free to post on our YouTube videos. We'll respond, we'll remain active on our YouTube as well as our LinkedIn channel. That is something ongoing thing. Let me try out the LinkedIn again, if I can see things. Just a minute. Okay, so great. Thank you, everyone. Then nice talking, and thank you for participating in our live Power Hour of PMP. If you have any specific topic to propose for upcoming Power Hours, please put it in the comment area. I will pick up from your topic suggested. Else I keep observing various interaction on social media and one-on-one conversations which are happening with me, and I will pick up a topic from there and publish it in our first week of April. That's something we'll do our 20th Power Hour then. Yeah. We have a question coming in finally. Yeah. Is the change control is a subset of change management? So change management and change control, they are confusing. And many a time, even in PMI material PMBOK, they used interchangeably. Many a time. Even I end up using interchangeably by mistake. In my videos, I have done sometime this mistake before as well. But they are pretty separate concepts. They are interrelated, but they are pretty separate. So change control is designed from the focus of controlling uncontrolled expansion of the scope. Yeah, so I need to make sure that we do something which is part of the scope. And if someone is asking something beyond that, we follow due process. Yeah, due process. And then we do it. We don't just keep changing without following a due process and creating confusion for our stakeholders and team. That is called change control. Please don't assume that PMI don't want you to change. You definitely plan, irrespective of your life cycle. You have to change. In a predictive life cycle, you follow change control by way of change control board. You raise a change request and you follow. In the adaptive life cycle, the backlog refinement, which includes product owner as a high power, high interest stakeholder, will take care of the approval of the change or reprioritization of a product backlog. That is, in fact, is a more living change control happening all the time in the adaptive way of working, but that is a change control. Now, what is change management? Change management is more associated to enabling your stakeholders, users, so that they can make use of your deliverable. Yeah. Now, how, say, my project had created a robot, and this robot is expected to reduce the manufacturing cost by reducing the waste. We have developed the robot. Now we are taking this robot to a manufacturing facility, but many people are not even educated enough to use this robot. So I need to manage the change Right now, they are working manually. Right now, they have a different kind of scheduling. They have a different kind of incentive schemes. They have a different kind of expertise and level of usage. I need to get them ready to use this particular robot. Now, for that, I need to do change management. So here, I am the one who is triggering the change, and I'm managing the change so that we can utilize the outcome. We can really make saving out of the robot. So I conduct training activity. I involve with the plant level stakeholder. As an example here, I work with transformation group. We work together. I may not be a leader alone. I go to a user and says, you need to use a robot. The user will say, go. I don't listen to you. I listen to my manager, who is my plant boss. So I need to, in a change management part, the project manager is a party to it, not necessarily a driver to it. Yeah. So you work with the senior stakeholder of the organization, and you support by way of providing training, help desk, mentoring to the stakeholders so that they can make right use of the product. That's a change management. Now, while doing that, some stakeholder may add a scope request to you. Then it will again trigger a change control. You can say, okay, while I was training people, someone is saying this robot is very difficult to operate. Can you change this interface like that particular manner? Then I will say, okay, we'll see it. Yeah, I'm not saying we will do it or not do it. Let me see a due impact of it, because we want to make sure that we don't do uncontrolled expansion of scope. Yeah? So we follow change control there. So change control is basically to protect your scope, to protect your baseline, to protect your product backlog. That's a change control. Whereas the change management is making your users ready to use your product, because only when they use it, the deliverable can come. Yeah. Now you may see sometime the word change management is used for change control related activities, but I think with PMBOK 7 and all, gradually this thing is becoming more clear, even in the PMI content, even in the language of many of the trainer like me. And this is how these two things should be seen differently. Hope this clarifies. Yeah, and if someone has something more, please do let me know. Yes, the YouTube comments are working, and I'm not sure about LinkedIn comments. Is the stakeholder engagement and change management interrelated? In a PMP exam, all aspects of project management are interrelated. All aspects of project management. Yeah. So yes, stakeholder engagement is connected with change management also. The stakeholder engagement is also connected with change control also. Stakeholders are everywhere. Stakeholder engagement is connected with our communication also, our risk management also, everywhere. Now see, first we need to understand who are the stakeholders. Now if I'm talking about my plant, this example, I will have a stakeholder who is a research department head, who is the one who is getting this robot made. Yeah, he's the one who is giving approval on technical design and finding money, giving money to it. Yeah, that stakeholder, high power, high interest stakeholder, is a very important stakeholder for my change control. Yeah, because he's the one who will prioritize the requirements. He's the one who will decide what goes in the robot and what does not go in the robot. It's there. Now, when my robot is ready and I want to make sure the users use it. Now, there are another type of stakeholder. Now, I'm taking the robot to a plant manager, the plant users, the union people. All those are my different type of stakeholders. Those people may not be interested in change control. The change control stakeholder was different, and this control stakeholder may have some interest here also, but here I have a different set of stakeholders. Now, when I'm doing change management, I'm engaging with those type of stakeholders who are going to use my product. When I'm doing change control, I'm interacting with those kind of stakeholders who are providing money, who are providing timeline, who are providing direction for the project. Yeah. So the stakeholders need to be engaged both the places. Yeah. So say you want to buy a learning solution for your kids. Yeah. Now someone is making those stakeholder that learning solution. So you who will pay from your pocket is the critical stakeholder there. The person can also ask some feedback from the kid also. Now once the solution is there, the kids are not using it. They don't like it, or probably they are not having interest of using it. Then you need to do a training, gamification, and take care of them so that they end up using it, because your project goal is not over till the time your product is really usable. So you will work with kids type of stakeholder to get them ready to use the product by way of training and mentoring them. And you are doing all the things which can be done so that they start using it. That is a change management activity. So robot is ready. You want to make the robot used in the organization is the change management activity. If you have been following some of our previous podcast, we do have a model which is presented in our PMI content as well. If you are part of our class, you probably already know. So we follow ADKAR process. You can say ADKAR is a good reminder. PMI is not going to test you on what is the full form of ADKAR. They are not going to ask you, but it's a good reference. We say we need to create awareness for the change. We need to create desire for the change. We need to provide knowledge for the change about the robot. We need to create the skills needed to operate the robot. And we need to ensure that there is a continuous reminder, reinforcement. It should not happen that people only use the robot once. So ADKAR is a approach which we learn in our PMI authorized classes content also for enabling the change. That's a change management approach. For change control, we learn about backlog refinement in case of adaptive, and we learn about the change request process, which goes through evaluation, impact analysis, approval, rejection. That all is a change control part of it. And as a project manager, I need to make sure all aspects of project management are interconnected. Someone asks for a change, it will cost us money, it will take time, it may be producing risk, it might be producing stakeholder dissatisfaction if we don't do it. So everything is interconnected. Yes, we end up learning them as a part by part, but everything is interconnected, and that is what we call it project integration management. As a project manager, I need to make sure everything is well coming together and helping us in achieving the project objectives. So I'm just browsing LinkedIn in between if there is something. But yes, this is how it is. If you have any final queries, do post them. We spoke about training a lot today and little bit of change. Yes, that's the good thing. Change management, change control, and the integration. Integration was a topic for our training related aspect as well, because and project integration management is also a weak area for many individuals. That is something also we have been noticing, that people who are not thinking this whole thing as an integrated manner, many a time they end up doing mistakes where the question is mixing multiple topics together. So say the question might be mixing, the stakeholder is dissatisfied and they want a change and they are raising a change request. So now they have mixed the stakeholder and the change control. You may have a mixing of it. The stakeholders are not engaged. They are lazy. They don't want to use your product. Now what they are showing is actually it is all about how do you manage change, but the problems they are showing is about the stakeholders. And there could be other things also. Stakeholders are busy. They have their own deliveries and they don't want to spend time in learning about the new thing which you are teaching them. Again, it's an interaction of the stakeholders, less engagement and change management. But yes, the people domain will come all the time when we are trying to work with stakeholders, and they all are interrelated. Okay, so this is good. So thank you everyone for joining our live session. We'll do another one, episode 20 in the first week of April. Most likely it will be on Friday, Thursday or Friday. I try to fix Friday. Whenever I'm not available, I try to move it. I move it on Thursday, but by default it should be on Friday. So we'll do it in the first week of April, and we'll take it forward from there. In the meantime, if you have a specific spot topic, you want me to spotlight on a particular topic, as we started today talking about mentoring. So if you have a particular request or a particular suggestion, rather than request, please drop it as a comment to this particular video maybe, and I will take it from there. Yeah. Thank you everyone. Thank you for participation.